This video is about solving logarithmic equations. Before we can start, I want to review just a little bit about the setup of a log. Remember that all of these pieces come from an exponential equation. So remember, b here in yellow is the base of the exponent, the base of the exponent. X is the exponent, and y is the answer to that exponent. And remember that if you get stuck on that the way to remember is that this goes like in a circle pattern in terms of like what you would write in the order. You would write the b first, you'd write the exponent next, which is x, and then the y. So the way you can, if you have a log with kind of variables, your variables would be here at y. The only way you can solve it is to set it up as an exponent, okay? So when a log is isolated, you want to set up an exponential equation. Key word here is isolated, and you'll see what that means here in just a few minutes. Okay, so want to go through just a few examples of like what I mean by this before I ask you to solve some on your own. Before we do that, though, there is one question that kind of leads this video or this instruction or this strategy, and that is this. How can you use an exponent to solve a logarithmic equation, right? So that's the idea. It's like you always have to kind of ask yourself that question as you move forward. So when you look at these two equations, you can see that the one on the question on the left, the log is isolated because this is all one package deal. Okay, it's all one. And so it's isolated, it's by itself. And I need to ask myself, how could I use an equation or an exponent to help me solve this? Because I can't solve it right now, right? So hopefully the gears are turning and you're thinking, well, let's just do the circle pattern again, right? So if we do that, we get 3 cubed equals x minus 7. And that is absolutely an equation that I can solve, right? Because I know what 3 cubed is. It's 27. Oops. And then I would add 7 to both sides and get 34 equals x. So the log, base 3 of 34 minus 7 equals 3. Okay? This next example on the right, just think about, like, again, how would you use an exponent to solve this equation? And the answer is right now you can't because the log is not isolated. So here's the log. I'm going to highlight it. So it's the log with the base and the parentheses, right? And then there's this minus 1. So we have to get rid of the minus 1, which is to add 1, and get the log base 6 of 2x equals 36. So now I can do my circle pattern again to try to rewrite as an exponent. So 6 to the 36 equals 2x. Sorry, I'm thinking, wow, that's really a big number. And I think that might have been a mistake here. So we're not going to actually calculate this because this number is like ginormous and not important. But we would then divide by 2. And so whatever 6 to the 36 over 2 is, I'm going to write it just like that, is x. So that's a mistake on my behalf. I must have written that wrong. But that's the idea, right? So you have to isolate the radical or isolate the log right here, right? So we're isolating the log by getting rid of any numbers that are beside it and then rewriting as an exponent and solving after. So I have 4 examples that I'm going to show you 2 at a time, and I want you to try the 2 and then push pause on the video and see if you can kind of solve them on your own. And then there's 2 more that all kind of scaffold in difficulty. So they start with the lowest level and then they work their way up to the most difficult. So here are the first 2. Go ahead and push pause and try to solve these 2 on your own before you kind of see the solution. So hopefully, once you push play and you kind of watch the steps of this, you're getting the same kind of answers here, right? Now, sometimes when you do these, you're going to get decimals. Don't freak out. Don't worry. It's okay. Rounded 2 decimal places, these are just nicer ones where the answers are a little bit larger. Okay, let's try 2 more. Again, push pause, try them on your own, and then let's see if they work out. So again, last 2 solutions for these examples. Hopefully that the steps make sense and you're understanding how to do that. If you at this point are lost about any steps, not sure why I did something or how that's working, please make sure that you come and ask me. Let me know again if you have any questions.